Shelley on an all-new Dr. Phil.
My mom blames me and my sisters for her drinking problem.
I just wish you were dead.
When she drinks,
this woman has attacked you with lethal weapons.
she rages.
You've been arrested 9 times. You missed your daughter's wedding.
He gave me the money to buy the alcohol, and he drank with me.
This is an urgent situation, and you go drinking with her? Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today's going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. I want you to take a look at this. This was Shelley, her husband John, and their 3 beautiful daughters 12 years ago. But this is Shelley now in a photo gallery of 9 mugshots. Now, according to her daughters, their mother is a raging and violent alcoholic who knocked Holly out with a picture frame and attempted to kick Heather in the stomach when she was 9 months pregnant. They say their father, John, is putting his life at risk every day because Shelley hits him, chokes him, and has even swung a fireplace poker at him, thrown a hammer at him, and regularly threatens to kill him. Now, Shelley denies she is abusive and says her family is to blame for her drinking, not her, but them. In fact, Shelley claims she's the real victim in all of this, and John is actually abusing her. And by the way, she says he's the one supplying her with alcohol. Now, Shelley's daughters say this is just another one of the many lies their mother tells so she can keep on drinking. This is a mess. Take a look.
You're too drunk to drive.
Give me my key.
Don't come out. Stop it.
My mother, Shelley, is an abusive alcoholic.
My mother's drink of choice is vodka.
Shelley's drunk pretty much around the clock.
My mother can't even go to the grocery store without bringing her water bottle filled with vodka. One time my dad found 18 bottles of vodka in the trash.
He hides some in various spots around the house and the garage.
That amounts to almost 30 shots of vodka a day.
My mother has tried to hit me before, and I have pushed her away. She gets angry. She just wants to take it out on any target she can.
She likes to throw things, break objects around the house.
My mom has pushed me, hit me, kicked me, choked me. The scariest attack was when I was 9 months pregnant and she tried pushing me down the stairs and kicking me in the stomach.
When I was in high school, she threw a metal picture frame at me, and it hit me in the head and made me pass out.
He's such a little.
My mother, Shelley, is mainly abusive towards my father, John. One time my mom hit my dad with the sharp end of the hammer.
And there was blood all over.
My biggest fear is that my mom will end up killing my dad in a drunken rage.
Don't come out. Stop it.
When Shelley's in a rage, I'll go in one of the bedrooms, lock the door, try and get away from her, trying to get her to cool off. And sometimes she'll break into the bedroom, and then it's all out assault, basically.
My mom, Shelley, blames me and my sisters for her drinking problem.
My mom loves to call us bitches, losers, and
Whenever my sisters and I hang out with my dad, she'll leave him threatening voicemails.
You are like the biggest loser. I'm just sick of you, and I just wish you were dead.
My father is miserable, but I don't think he knows how to leave her.
I don't even care about a relationship at this point. I gave up on her a while ago.
It's right. He's such a little.
All right, guys, I'm glad you're here. Now, first off, is there anybody here that has any doubt, debate, question that your mother is out of control?
No, we all
She's
know
completely out of control.
You're convinced your wife is out of control?
Completely. Yeah, Bob completely takes over her life.
She's been arrested 9 times. She spent almost 50 days in jail. How much is she drinking now?
I found 18 bottles of vodka, the 1.75 liter, And doing a quick Google search and calculations, it comes out to an average of 30 shots a day.
That was just for the month of December.
Okay, 30 shots a day for a month.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, 1.75 liters
Yes.
in a day, so that's like a half gallon
Yeah, basically.
for those of us in
That's
America.
an awful lot of vodka, and I don't know how she is
Yeah.
still alive.
Now, you guys have said she'll pour vodka into her wine.
Yes, or in a water bottle.
Yeah,
just
and
drink
carry
it
a water
straight.
bottle. She's mean drunk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
very
very out
abused.
about
Right?
it.
Yeah, because I made a list. I went through everything that all of you told me together and made a list of her abusive behavior. Now, according to the family, she hits, punches, and chokes you.
Yes.
She threw pictures, dishes, picture frames. She's hit you in the wrist with a hammer.
Correct.
Now, this broke a significant vein or artery. There was a lot of blood involved here.
Yeah. I told the girls to call the police. Because there's multiple times in the past the girls wanted to call the police, and I'd say, well, no, let's try and rectify the situation. But
She
it didn't
swung a
happen.
fire poker at you.
Yes, she
You know,
did.
that'll kill you, right?
Yeah.
If it hit you like in the temple or something with
I
that.
don't think he realizes what she's capable of when she's drinking. He always says, oh, I can just defend myself, but he can't.
She's hit, punched, choked, pulled the daughter's hair, nearly pushed you down the stairs when you were 9 months pregnant and tried to kick you in the stomach.
Yep.
While you were 9 months pregnant.
Yes.
She threw a picture frame at you,
Yes.
almost knocked you out.
Yeah.
She calls you every name in the book. I can't say some of them because of the FCC. She calls you guys bitches, whores, worthless, and things I can't say. She threatens your life. She says she wishes you guys would die.
Yeah.
Okay, so why are you continuing to put yourself in harm's way? Why are you continuing to put your life at risk here? This woman has attacked you with lethal weapons and attempted to kill you.
Right. I do feel sorry for her.
She says you buy her alcohol.
In the past, rare occasions, but 99% of the time she's buying her own.
Was she drinking last night?
She was.
Were you drinking with her?
Yes. I know it was bad, but lapse of judgment.
Wait a minute. Come on.
Lapse of judgment, but
No, come on.
I mean,
You flew a long way to get here, right?
we did.
And
She was freaking out terribly.
You've come to Dr. Phil
Yes.
for the purpose of, hold on, for the purpose of getting your wife off of death row here. She's headed towards killing herself. This is an urgent situation. We need to deal with this. And you fly down here and go drinking with her?
Well, just a little bit. I try to keep it under control. I said, you get this amount, and then I got to dump out the rest. You know, she's freaking out. She said she had to have it. And she had her couple drinks. I cut her off, dumped it out, and made her go to bed.
I don't enable people. And if you're willing to accept excuses, if you're willing to make excuses for her, if you're willing to allow her to deflect and wiggle, then I'd rather you not be here when she comes out here, because I am unwilling to do that. She needs to know the truth here, and she's going to hear it from me. And if you guys aren't prepared to back that up 100%, then I'd rather you just sit in the audience and not participate, because I intend to give her no wiggle room at all. For once in her life, she's going to hear the truth with clarity, inability to deflect, inability to blame you, anybody. She's going to have to own this herself. And if she refuses to face it and get help, then you've got to be willing to burn that bridge until such a time that she does. And you have to cross that threshold right now, or you own part of her decision to continue to drink, and you have to be willing to do that.
Right.
No.
Are you there?
Yes.
Are you there?
Yes, I am
We're
there.
ready to face her.
Yeah, certainly.
John says his wife threatens his life and physically and verbally abuses him. Shelley claims she is the one being abused by her husband, and she says she has proof. Well, we're going to meet Shelley after the break.
John and my daughters have gained up on me. He punched my head, knocked me down. I threw a hammer at John. Heather's a drama queen. I threw a frame at Holly. I didn't mean to hit her in the head. I'm an adult, so I can do what I want.
And later, whether you should have been or not, you have been arrested 9 times. You just described where you tore doors off, you threw them down the stairs, you punched holes in the wall.
But he enables me.
My relationship with my mom, Shelly, wasn't always the greatest. She wasn't your typical loving mother. As the years kept going, she just kept getting more mean and abusive.
My relationship with my mother, Shelly, is estranged at this point. I haven't seen my mother in 3 months. I try to avoid my mother as much as possible.
My mom has always told me that she hated me my whole childhood. She would say she wished I was never born or that I would die. Growing up, I came to resent her, so I hate her as well.
Shelly's daughters say their mother is not just a drunk, not just an alcoholic, but a violent alcoholic. Shelly says that she doesn't drink nearly as much as her family claims. Shelly says she really doesn't want to be here today, but she came only because her daughters threatened to cut her off and not speak to her again if she refused. She's here under duress, doesn't want to be here. She's doing it only because they said, if you don't come, we're done. Take a look.
I don't drink every day like my family claims. I know my drinking can be a problem, but I don't have to drink. John and my daughters have gained up on me. My daughters, Heather, Holly, and Hillary, all think I'm the bad person, and John's a good one. I'm angry at my husband. He always goes along with my girls. He also thinks I drink too much. Half the time he's not even home, so he really doesn't have a clue. If I'm taking a nap, he assumes I'm drunk. I get angry at John because he's controlling. He tells me when I can drink and can't drink. I'm an adult, so I can do what I want. I am not abusive to my husband. The only time I would hit him if he starts hitting me. He has knocked me down because I called him names, gave me a black eye, punched my head. I threw a hammer at John because I was drinking way too much vodka. I did not mean to hit John with the hammer. Heather's a drama queen. She said I tried to kick her. That is not true. Holly, I threw a frame at her. I got angry. I didn't mean to hit her in the head, but I did. I said I was sorry. My girls and John, they stick together. My husband doesn't make me a priority over my children. I'm his wife and I should be number one.
Okay, it's good to meet you. Why did
I want to tell you why I'm here.
Okay, I want to hear.
I'm only here because they said I had to come here or they would have nothing to do with me. Yes, I do drink too much at times or whatever, but they think it's all my fault. John is an enabler to me. Just last night, he didn't want to drink, but he gave me the money to buy the alcohol, and he drank with me.
So you got money from him to go across the street and buy
That's
alcohol?
Right. And then he drank with me.
How much did you buy?
Just the...
750 milliliter.
3/4 of a...
Yes.
Yeah. How much of it did y'all drink?
I dumped out about a third of it before we went to bed.
So this is why we get frustrated.
We asked you why you drink, and you gave us a list. You said John is abusive. You say John doesn't make you the number one priority. You said you drink because you're angry at him.
Well, I keep things bottled up because when I try to talk to him, he doesn't want to hear it.
You say that he limits what you drink and it makes you want to drink more.
Yeah, because he tells me when I can drink.
And so you rebel against that.
That's right.
And
so then I'll buy my own and drink.
You lost your job because of Hillary in 2009. That made you want to drink.
Well, that was very sad.
I'm just telling you what you said. This is in the interview. You told us that you got upset when you lost your job in 2009 because of Hillary. You said you have rebellious and disrespectful daughters, and that makes you want to drink. You said you're not allowed to say what you want when you're sober, so you drink. You said you're bored and depressed, and you fill in the gaps with drinking. You lost your brother and your niece, and so that was hurtful to you, and you kind of self-medicated. Sorry for your loss, by the way. And in this past year, you've lost another loved one, your brother, and you self-medicated. Again, sorry for your loss, by the way. Everything the family does revolves around drinking, so it's hard for you to stay away from it because everything revolves around drinking, you say. Alcoholic runs in your family, and rehab just didn't help you.
Within a week, he bought booze and we drank.
No, I didn't buy it.
He tells me when I can drink.
She says she does drink, but she says it's not that big of a problem. Now, John says, if that's true, why does she run afoul of the law? We'll be right back.
One time I called the police because my mother completely destroyed the house. She threw things all over. Things were broken everywhere.
I was really drunk. I kicked the door in, knocked down knickknacks.
I feel relieved when the police come for her.
And later...
Why don't you stop?
I drink if I want to.
When you want
I drink because I can.
You will die. We talk about your funeral and what's going to happen.
My mom has been drinking and driving as long as I can remember.
She drinks and drives every day. When I was 13 years old, my mom and I dropped my sister Holly off at her friend's house. When we were pulling out of the driveway, my mom backed into the neighbor's mailbox. As we started driving down the road, she kept hitting the curb and continued to do it.
One time she brought my children to the store with her, and I found out that she had backed into another car and left the scene. I was furious because she was drinking with my children in the car. When I confronted my mom, she just played it off like it was no big deal.
Well, John says his wife's first arrest was in 2009 when she got belligerently drunk and attacked him with a hammer. Now, since then, he says this has become much more commonplace. Let's take a look.
My mother, Shelley, has been arrested 9 times.
My mother went to jail for abusing my dad. One time I called the police because she completely destroyed the house. She threw things all over. Things were broken everywhere.
My mom was going on one of her drunken rampages.
Give me my key.
So me and my sister Hillary called the cops on her.
I was really drunk. I kicked the door in, knocked down knickknacks, kicked the door off the hinges.
The time she was arrested, she's either hurting me, my sisters, or my father.
She was arrested on New Year's Day about 3 years ago. We were celebrating New Year's Day. She was intoxicated, so she didn't go to that event. When my father got home from the event, she was aggressive. He kept asking her to stop, but she wouldn't and was being more aggressive, so he called the police on her.
When John got home, I wanted a couple drinks. He said no, so I got upset. I threw the plate of cookies, so he called the cops. I went to jail again. It was not necessary for John to call the police on a plate of cookies.
After this arrest, she was put on probation and went to live with her parents for about 9 months. My father was granted a no-contact order, meaning that my mother could not go to the residence. My parents separated for 9 months, so she started being nice to him again, saying she was going to work on things, making false promises.
Throughout all her arrests, my mom has stayed in jail about 50 days total.
I feel relieved when the police come for her because my mom deserves to be in jail for all that she has done to our family.
Okay, now, well,
No,
okay,
you are.
listen, no, let me take this apart here because you're talking about opinions here, and I don't want to talk about opinions, I want to talk about facts. First, let's get a definition. Let's get a definition about what's normal and what's abnormal, okay? To me, normal is anything that does not interfere with healthy functioning and pursuit of goals. Abnormal interferes with healthy functioning and pursuit of goals. You've been arrested 9 times. Mm-hmm. What do you figure the average is for the American female to be arrested?
I don't know. 5?
Take a guess.
5?
5 times. You think the... Okay, everybody in the audience that's been arrested 5 times, stand on your head.
I've been arrested when I shouldn't have been arrested.
Whether you should have been or not, you have been arrested 9 times. 72709, disorderly conduct, battery, domestic, 3 days in jail. 72312, disorderly conduct, criminal damage to property, 3 weeks in jail. 82712, bail jumping, 2 days in jail. 1115, disorderly conduct, criminal damage to property. You just described on tape where you tore doors off, you threw them down the stairs, you punched holes in the wall. 31515, probation violation. 51715, probation violation. 61615, probation. 71115, probation. You don't follow rules because you're drunk.
But he enables me.
Family events missed due to alcohol. December 14, you missed your husband's 50th birthday party. September 15th, you missed Holly's wedding. January 15, you missed the family New Year's party. May 16, you missed the birth of Holly's daughter. Thanksgiving 17, no show. You don't show up for things that normally
Okay, he's
someone in your
trying
position
to be
would
the
show
good
up
guy.
for. I'm not talking to him, I'm talking to you. In fact, before you got out here, I talked to him about enabling, and I'll talk to him some more. But right now, we're talking to you, and I just want to, you've been arrested 9 times. You're missing family events.
Right. I know I drink too much at times. I was just 7 days clean until last night.
And that was your choice to drink.
And it was because he gave me the money. If he wouldn't have gave me the money, I wouldn't
drink.
No
one's
but
making
he's
you
an
drink.
enabler.
Stop blaming other people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Hillary says she doesn't know if she should invite her mother to her wedding in May because she's worried she will be drunk, embarrassing, and possibly fall off a cliff where the wedding is being held. And I've been where your wedding is, and that's a real possibility. She wants my thoughts on whether she should extend that invitation, and I'm going to give them to her after the break.
If they don't drink, I won't drink.
That's not true.
She has always told me how much she hates me and wish that I was dead.
She's told me before she would rather lose us as her family than quit drinking.
My mother is wasting her life away. She has a wonderful family. She has 3 daughters, 5 granddaughters who she could have a relationship with, but she chooses not to because of her addiction. My mother missed my wedding because at my rehearsal dinner, she caused a scene. My mother missed the birth of my daughter because she was too intoxicated and couldn't drive to the hospital to meet her.
I'm getting married in 3 months in Italy. I really worry about bringing my mom along. I told her if she's not gonna get sober, then she won't be coming to my wedding.
Hillary wrote into the show asking for my advice on a lot of things. One being whether or not she should invite her alcoholic mother to her wedding this coming May. What do you think?
Absolutely. They even said they would not drink. If they don't drink, I won't drink.
That's not true. You drink all the time when no one else drinks.
We hardly
Okay,
ever
we
drink at all.
go to
Yeah.
every event. Are the guys not drinking?
The guys,
People can choose to
we
drink. That
don't
doesn't mean you
can
have
sit here and
to.
talk to us. We're not drinking.
Yeah, you
Realize
drink too.
you have a choice. You have a choice not
You
to.
all drink.
too.
No,
Very rarely.
you're always drinking.
Do you have a drinking problem?
Yes, I do.
Are you an alcoholic?
Yep.
Well, she's told me before she would rather lose us as her family than quit drinking.
Was I drinking?
Probably. I mean, I don't know.
When are you
Times
not?
when you're
Okay.
sober, it's
Let-
not very often.
First off, you have a very specific question, and
Yes.
may I answer it very specifically?
Yes.
I'm going to give you a conditional answer. If something doesn't happen today to dramatically change the course of events, then you absolutely should not invite your mother to your wedding.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you why. It will break your heart to not share this meaningful day in your life with your mother.
Yeah.
It will break your heart even more if on that day you spend all of your time worrying
Yeah.
whether or not somebody's going to come rushing in and say your mother has just fallen through the wedding cake or fallen off a cliff on the Amalfi Coast, which
Yeah.
is a hell of a long way down,
Yeah.
or started a big scene that was there. Now, I was raised by an alcoholic father. Robin was raised by an alcoholic father. We both grew up in homes with alcoholics. And I've been in a situation where my alcoholic father was at my little sister's wedding, and it did not end well. You deserve to be the star that day. You deserve to be the center of attention. You deserve to have that day to remember for the rest of your life, where it was all about you. And you get to be in that idyllic setting with the man of your dreams and have that day to remember for the rest of your life. You know, Heather says that Mom admitted to the family therapist 8 years ago that she hated her. What does that mean? How did that come about?
She has always told me my entire life how much she hates me and wished that I was dead, that I was never born. Don't even lie.
We've always had something like against
Don't even
Heather,
lie.
and we don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It's always been something.
She even admitted it to the therapist.
She doesn't hate you. That's alcohol talking. That's distortion talking. She doesn't hate you.
She would tell me those
You don't
things
hate her,
before
do you?
this.
Do you think that you would say that in a sober, rational moment, that you hate your daughter?
She has.
She has.
No.
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 You've always had a chip on your shoulder towards Heather.
What did you say? Because we're too much alike.
No.
Well, you're both emotional, yeah, but I always wanted you to have a nice relationship with Heather, your firstborn daughter. For many years, I said, well, just take her out to lunch, do something with her, anything.
I'm not saying you aren't combative, but hate's a big and ugly word that doesn't belong between a mother and a daughter.
I agree.
John says that he stays with Shelley. John says he stays with Shelley because he feels obligated to get her better through sickness and health.
But
Is he really taking care of that obligation by doing what he's doing? Or is he actually just sacrificing himself and his family, and in fact is not taking care of that obligation by doing what he's doing? We'll talk about that when we come back.
My mother has a lot of excuses for why she drinks.
My mom blames Heather because she got pregnant with her when she was 19 years old. I feel like she just never wanted to start a family, or maybe she didn't want to start a family that young and has regrets about it.
She says me and my sisters are disrespectful towards her. That's why she drinks.
I think her biggest reasoning for drinking is because her brother died from lung cancer. Another brother died this past year of cancer. She uses those deaths as an excuse to drink.
She has gone through her life blaming other people instead of looking at herself.
Now, I'm going to ask the three of you, and I'm going to get to John in a minute, but I'm going to ask the three of you, and I want you to weigh this very carefully, because there's a distinct possibility that this may be the last time that you look your mother in the eye and speak to her. What is it you want to say to your mother about her drinking and her relationship with you? I'll start with you.
Well, I want you to stop blaming other people for your drinking. I want you to take the responsibility for it. You should be
I
very
do.
happy.
I drink
with
if I
actually all
want
of her-
to.
Well, you should
When
be
I
happy.
want to.
When you want
I drink because I can. I'm
Because
an adult.
You know you have a drinking problem, though, so why don't you stop?
It's not that easy to stop. It's a disease.
I think we're very scared that you will die soon. We talk about your funeral and what's going to happen. We should not be thinking about your death, but we're so concerned about you, and we're also concerned about the safety of our father, because you don't know what you're capable of when you're drinking.
I lived there for
But
how
if you
long?
don't stop drinking, you will die.
Is there
If you
anything you
don't
want to
get
say to her?
sober, you will not have a relationship with your granddaughters.
I know that. That's why I'm here.
That breaks my heart when they ask about you.
I know.
Like, don't
I
you
know,
want to
but
see the
stop
grandkids?
just blaming me. Blame him.
He sees
He's
the grandkids.
abusive too.
No.
No, he
You
isn't.
hit me. You bruised me. Yeah, you do
Was
hit
the
me.
police called? Did you
No,
call
I'm not going to call because
does it
you
call
were
a-
said
drinking.
before that you would
Did
call
you
the
call a
police on
family
Dad, and we
member to
told
come
you
help
to.
you?
This is how I look when my head's about to explode. Does anybody want to know why?
Yeah.
Not really. Probably not good.
No.
You do want to know why. She's controlling this whole situation.
No.
And I'll tell you why. It's called deflection. Because if she can get you arguing, if she can get you focusing on some detail, some circumstance, like who said what to who the Christmas before last, or who said what to who, or what John did, or what John didn't do, then the clock is running and you're not talking about her drinking. You're so good at it, you don't even know it. I mean, you've got, she says, it's John's fault. The devil made me do it. If you have one objective, and one objective is we are going to push a rock up a hill. And every time you start arguing with her, you're not pushing the rock up the hill. We have one objective, push the rock up the hill, and that's to get her to quit drinking. I don't care who she blames as long as the rock goes up the hill. It doesn't matter. There have been a lot of accusations thrown around here today, but one thing I know for sure is that Shelley is in crisis, John is in danger, these daughters are at the end of their rope, and I have an answer. We'll be right back.
I have a master's degree in counselor education, so I understand the risk factors for domestic violence homicide. My father meets most criteria of risk factors for being killed by their partner. One of the questions is, have they ever used a weapon against you or threatened you with a weapon? And that is true. Does she spy on you or leave threatening messages? And she definitely leaves threatening messages. My mother says she drinks because my dad is abusive.
We were arguing, and then he pushed me on the ground, started pounding on my head, my back, and my legs.
My father is not abusive. My mother is the abusive one.
You work in this
Yes,
field,
I work at
right?
a domestic violence agency.
And at that domestic violence agency, you have a tool that you use, right? Mm-hmm. And it's a lethality screen.
Yep.
It's really good.
Yes.
And we work in domestic violence a lot. Robin is a very strong advocate in this field. And I want to take a look. There are 11 items on this. And you determine this, you use this to determine whether or not there's a risk level involved. Number one, has he or she ever used a weapon against you or threatened you with a weapon? 2, has he or she threatened to kill you or your children? 3, do you think he or she might kill you? 4, does he or she have a gun or can she easily get one? 5, has he or she ever tried to choke you? 6, is he or she violently or constantly jealous, or does he or she control most of your daily activities? 7, have you left him or her or separated after living together or being married? 8, is he or she unemployed? 9, has he or she ever tried to kill him or herself? 10, do you have a child that he or she knows is not his or hers? 11, does he or she follow or spy on you or leave threatening messages? Now, to the extent you answer any of those questions in the affirmative, the more you do so, the higher the risk level. So we applied that to what we know from this situation based on your answers and factual information, including arrests, hospital records, etc. And here are the ones that were answered in the affirmative. That means your concerns are quite real.
Very real.
So when we talk about, is your life at risk here? Yeah. You say you've taken your wedding vows very seriously. I do too. I've been married 41 years. And I think we get divorced in America much too quickly. But I wrote a book some time ago called Relationship Rescue, and in it I talked about deal breakers. There are some drop-dead deal breakers, and they are addictions to drug or alcohol if the partner refuses to acknowledge the problem or make sincere efforts to get treatment. If there is physical abuse, you have to act immediately to get out right now until a competent professional objectively advises you it is safe to live under the same roof again. If you've got drugs or alcohol and the person refuses to acknowledge it and get help, or if there is physical abuse, those two are drop-dead deal breakers, and you've got them both. My one last question for Shelley and for the other 4 members of this family when we come back. I do think that you are a severe alcoholic. I think right now, if you decided I hear you and I'm just going to stop, I don't think you could do that if your heart really was in it. I don't think you could do it. And I'll tell you why. I do think you have experienced changes in your brain because of the alcohol. I think you also have some comorbid situations going along with it that trigger the drinking. I think you have had some losses in your life. I don't think you've ever grieved those properly because you numbed yourself with alcohol. I think you have some depression. I think you have some anxiety. And I think you self-medicate. I don't think you drink recreationally. I think some of that is true, but I think you self-medicate these conditions. And I think if we were to treat you for this alcohol addiction and ignore these things over here, as soon as you got through with that, these things would begin to trigger your need to self-medicate again. If you take away a coping mechanism and you don't put something back in its place, then line of least resistance, people will go back to what they know. And what you know now is your coping mechanism is to numb yourself with alcohol so the pain goes away. And so what has to happen, in my view, is that you need a very intense, long-term, dual diagnosis intervention program that deals with the psychological issues that you're having, so you can resolve those things so you don't need self-medication, and at the same time you overcome this addiction and get new coping mechanisms so you don't have a need to self-medicate when you do get under stress and anxiety. Now, what I am willing to do for you, and I have spoken to these people at great length, there's a place I have great confidence in called Creative Care Malibu, and it is a substance and mental health treatment center which offers detoxification from drugs and alcohol and a full psychiatric and psychological assessment and treatment by top-notch doctors, therapists, and nurses to ensure that each client receives a very individualized care program in a very tranquil setting that is ideal for healing. And I mean, you can look at this is on the beach in Malibu. This is a beautiful place. It's located on 25 acres overlooking the Pacific Ocean. It's just a few minutes from the most beautiful Malibu beaches. And the biggest problem we have here is people go there and don't want to leave because it's such a beautiful and tranquil place. And I'm willing to make that offer to you as our gift to you to get this done right one time. You don't want the alternative, which is to continue doing what you're doing. You know that's not right.
I know that.
So will you take this offer I'm making to you?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to thank all of my guests today. A very special thanks to the great folks at Creative Care Malibu. Dr. Kaligi, thank you. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time.
Memories can kill ya, but I didn't hear ya. I thought that I could fly, but woke up on the asphalt. I swear there was the last stop. I've always been naive. Call it